Let's take a quick look at floating skill buttons. These buttons give you one-click access to your skills on any website. By default, out of the box, we ship with 3. Summarize this, chart this for me, and do something. And now the way that you can activate or deactivate these buttons is just by opening the Ask Steve side panel, going to skills, finding the skill that you want, like in this case, we'll look at the summarize one, and then the add button checkbox is what controls whether a button shows or not. So it's that easy to turn it on and off. Now, what gets shown on the skill button, if there's an emoji anywhere in the name of the skill, then that emoji will get used. Otherwise, the first alpha numeric letter or number will get used there. And then these things are sorted alphabetically, and that's the way that you can kind of sort within that section. In this case, I put a dash in front of the summarize this one because I always wanted it to appear up top. Now, once you have activated a button on a skill, you can go to the button settings tab, and then you can do some more configuration. One thing you can change is the colors. So I can change the background color. For some reason, first time I press background, it appears off the screen sometimes, but just press it again. And now I can either pick a color myself, or I can use the eyedropper. I'm going to, in this case, use the eyedropper and style this button like the Ask Steve lightning bolt logo. There we go. And then I hit update, and now my button is styled like that. The other thing you can do that's really powerful is you can say that I only want buttons to appear on certain web pages. So right now, the summarize this button shows on every web page, but if I add in this URL here for the page I'm currently on, that's great, still showing here because that's the page. But if I go to a different page, it's gone. And what instead I see is 2 sales related buttons because I'm on a LinkedIn profile page right now. So I see qualify a sales lead and write a sales outreach message because I've configured those skills to only show on LinkedIn profiles. And then if I go to Google App Script Editor, I can see 3 other skills that are all about app scripting, but I don't see my summarize one anymore because that one is limited to quickstart.asksteve.to. So that makes it really easy then to configure buttons to only show in the places where they're relevant for you. And then finally, under advanced options, this is where by default, the inputs for all these skills comes from either the selection on the page or the whole page itself if nothing is selected. But you can pick a certain part of the page explicitly and say, I want that to be where the input comes from. And that's useful for more advanced use cases. And similarly, the output always goes into a floating panel, but you can write it back into a control on the page. Also useful for more advanced use cases. If you go watch our video about skills, then you can kind of see how all that stuff works. So floating skill buttons, really powerful way to give yourself one-click access to Ask Steve skills on any website and to configure it per site or per page. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.